The Canadiens are at a crossroads, the urgent need for roster flexibility. In the world of hockey, few names resonate as strongly as that of Carey Price, a legendary figure for the Montreal Canadiens. Although he is currently considered unofficially retired, there is a growing consensus within the league that the Canadiens are poised to trade Price's contract in the near future. With just 1 year left on his deal, which carries a cap hit of $10.5 million, though only $7.5 million in actual salary remains to be paid. The Canadiens find themselves in a position where moving this contract could significantly enhance their salary cap flexibility. Why trade Price's contract? The rationale behind this potential trade is straightforward. Presently, the Canadiens are projected to exceed the salary cap by approximately $6 million, making it impossible for them to navigate the necessary cap adjustments to remain compliant this season. In previous years, the team managed to stay under the cap by sending a few young players who were exempt from waivers to their AHL affiliate, Laval, for a brief period, a tactic known as papering a player. This allowed them to temporarily reduce their cap hit before placing Price on long-term injured reserve, LTIR. However, this year marks the final chapter of Price's contract, and with a hefty signing bonus of $5.5 million due today. The timing has never been more opportune for the Canadiens to consider offloading this contract. A source familiar with the situation remarked, "I've been hearing about the potential for Price's contract to be traded for some time now. Things should start to unfold around September 1st or shortly thereafter. I can't envision the Canadiens entering the season with that burden on their salary cap." Price's contract, coupled with a stagnant trade market, has been a significant factor in the Canadiens' inability to secure a top-six player. The team is reluctant to part with any current roster members in their quest for a forward, ideally a center, to enhance their lineup. Furthermore, adding any additional salary would push them into off-season LTIR territory, complicating their financial situation even further. For a deeper dive into the reasons behind the Canadiens' desire to move Carey Price's contract, check out the video below until the 5-minute mark. Where could Price end up? As of this writing, it is anticipated that Price will be traded within the week. The San Jose Sharks have emerged as a leading candidate, as they are currently $5 million above the salary cap floor, and have 9 unrestricted free agents, 5 of whom are defensemen, who could be potential trade assets. Acquiring a contract like Price's would provide the Sharks with the necessary cushion to trade away some of their higher-salaried players without falling below the salary cap floor. This strategy mirrors what the Chicago Blackhawks did during the 2025 NHL trade deadline when they acquired Shea Weber's $7.8 million contract to maintain compliance after trading Seth Jones and Petr Mrazek. Interestingly, the Blackhawks are also rumored to be interested in Price's deal for similar reasons. Another unexpected team that has been mentioned in discussions is the Pittsburgh Penguins. With 10 unrestricted free agents and a clear intention to rebuild, the Penguins find themselves $12 million above the salary cap floor. Sources suggest that if they continue to struggle in the standings, they may consider trading some veteran players sooner rather than later. Navigating a challenging trade market. When the Canadiens do eventually part ways with Carey Price's contract, a pressing question arises. What's next for the team? According to TVA Sports' Jean-Charles Lajoie, not only is Price's contract expected to be traded soon, but the Canadiens are also actively pursuing a center. In conversations with insiders, the consensus is clear. Patience is key as the market develops. I haven't heard of anything imminent regarding a top-6 center, with training camps approaching, but I know they're keeping an eye on several situations in case teams change their stance before the December roster freeze. Shared a well-informed NHL source. The trade market has been unusually quiet for months, causing general managers to pause their efforts to make additions, hoping that other teams will eventually be willing to accept future assets and prospects in exchange for their valuable roster players. This sentiment has been echoed by Canadiens Executive Vice President Jeff Gorton, who stated in an exclusive interview that the team plans to continue enhancing their roster throughout the season. We don't view opening day as the final opportunity to adjust our roster, Gorton explained. Many teams around the league make additions after that point and right up to the deadline, so we're comfortable with our current position and the moves we've made. The challenge in making a move now lies in the number of teams facing similar circumstances as the Canadiens, although some are in more urgent situations. The demand for Price's contract will be high, given the limited number of sellers compared to the number of buyers. Currently, there are about 5 teams that would jump at the chance to acquire a legitimate top 6 center, especially the Vancouver Canucks, noted a source from the Western Conference. The Canadiens are banking on Kirby Dach to have a strong start to the season, if he starts at all, and if that doesn't pan out, they'll reassess their options like they did last December. It's important to remember that last season, while languishing at the bottom of the NHL standings, the Canadiens were not afraid to make bold moves, such as trading Justin Barron to Nashville in exchange for Alex Carrier. This trade proved crucial in stabilizing the Canadiens' defense and providing better balance in their top 4, especially since they were often fielding 5 left-handed defensemen at that time. The same sentiment is being echoed as training camp approaches. While the Canadiens are optimistic about Kirby Dach's potential, they remain ready to make a move if the opportunity arises that could benefit them in the long run. I've heard that the Canadiens are willing to move Price's contract to facilitate another trade, stated another NHL insider. It's really just a matter of timing, and the market will ultimately dictate that. The possibility of 2 trade periods. One significant factor that could work in the Canadiens' favor as they wait for the trade market to evolve is the presence of several borderline teams in the NHL standings, and the increasing excitement surrounding the 2026 NHL draft. This anticipation is largely why the expected summer of offer sheets never materialized. Teams were hesitant to risk their first-round picks in a draft that is highly regarded. With prospects like Gavin McKenna, Keaton Verhoff, Ivor Stenberg, Ryan Lynn, Ethan Belchetz, and Ryan Rubrook generating buzz among scouts, this could positively influence the in-season trade market well before the NHL trade deadline. More teams are likely to consider packing it in early this season compared to last year, especially with elite defensive prospects available in this draft class. The NHL source continued, "If we reach the end of November and some of these middle-tier teams start to falter, many of them may be more inclined to trade proven players for future assets. Unlike previous years, making trades earlier in the season could yield greater value for certain clubs when waiting until the NHL trade deadline. By weakening their rosters sooner and integrating younger players into their organizations, teams can position themselves for a lower finish in the standings and a better chance at securing McKenna. Last season, we witnessed a surge of trade activity between American Thanksgiving and the mid-December trade freeze, and due to the limited roster changes this past summer, many NHL executives anticipate a similar flurry of activity this time around. This highlights the critical importance of the Canadiens getting under the salary cap with a comfortable buffer, as it would enable them to pursue these types of trades. Retaining Price and placing him on off-season LTIR would severely limit their flexibility for making significant in-season additions. It is expected that the Canadiens will be proactive in the trade market during the season if they are unable to secure a top 6 player before training camp. One source hinted that the team has already evaluated several teams and will revisit discussions with them in the future. However, the first step is to create that much-needed flexibility.